Well, happy afternoon. Time for TV47 at 4. My name is Linda Alela. Now, the hearing into the murder of Albert Ojwang entered its third day on Wednesday, with the court receiving testimony from IPOA head of forensics, that is Joshua Mutua. Mutua presented CCTV footage retrieved from Bagathi Hospital, taking the court through events of June the 8th, 2025, and detailing the timeline surrounding Ojwang's transfer and arrival at the facility. The court has since adjourned the proceedings until December the 14th, 2026, when the forensic expert is expected to undergo cross-examination. The hearing will continue from December 15th to 17th, 2026.
3 uniformed police officers in a police vehicle are observed wheeling the deceased towards the casualty area on a stretcher. They are later seen returning to the vehicle with the deceased still on the stretcher. Placing him into the vehicle and departing at around approximately 02:15 hours. My lady, it is worth noting that all this time they were proceeding to casualty area, the vehicle was unmanned. Nobody was left to guard the vehicle.
Court proceedings in parts of the country were disrupted as lawyers sustained their boycott over concerns about corruption and accountability within the judiciary. The Law Society of Kenya President Charles Kanjama said the boycott remains in force nationwide, urging advocates to stay away from court sessions as pressure mounts for reforms. The senior counsel Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi and former LSK President Eric Theuri said the campaign seeks greater transparency and accountability to protect the public's right to fair justice.
On behalf of the Law Society of Kenya, we are here to say that number one, the court boycott is going on in courts across the country. Many lawyers have heeded the call of the Law Society of Kenya to take out their cases before the courts, and we are gratified that several judges and judicial officers have respected what LSK is doing, and several of our members have done so. Number two, we are however concerned at several instances we have had where some judges, some judicial officers have declined to comply with the notice that was issued to the judiciary that lawyers will be exercising their right to boycott court under Article 37 and Article 41 of the Constitution of Kenya. We are still receiving information from our members who are being forced to proceed with matters, and some of whose matters have been taken out with prejudice.
The senior counsel bar in its entirety, without exception, stands shoulder to shoulder with the leadership of the Law Society on this all-important subject of demanding accountability, not only in performance, but the restoration of integrity and the elimination of corruption in the administration of justice.
Elsewhere, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki has warned that the government will take firm action against political violence, criminal gangs and individuals threatening the country's stability. Speaking in Yatta constituency, Machakos County, during the inspection of the Kidimani Modern Market, the opening of the Kidimani Land Registry and the issuance of title deeds, Kindiki said the Kenya Kwanza administration is committed to serving all Kenyans equally, regardless of their 2022 election choices.
And I want to tell you, as a country, we must draw a line between politics, violence and criminal activity. Hatuwezi ati kujisingizia siasa tuwe na nchi ambaye tunachoma mali ambayo imetafutwa na wananchi na jasho yao. Alafu vijana wanachochewa, wanapewa pesa kidogo, wanachoma supermarket ya mtu ati kwa sababu kuna maandamano. Wewe fanya maandamano yako, sema ile utaki, sema ule hautapigia kura, ukimaliza kusema enda nyumbani. Hakuna mtu wa rangi yoyote, dini yoyote, kabila yoyote, jinsia yoyote, umri wowote, siasa yoyote atakubaliwa kuvuruga amani ya taifa akijisingizia ya kwamba anafanya siasa.
All right, and county directors of health from across the country have gathered in Laikipia County for a 3-day quarterly consultative meeting to assess progress and address challenges and identify ways of strengthening primary health care as well as accountability in county health services. The meeting will focus on key matters affecting health care delivery, including health workforce management, maternal and perinatal death surveillance, disease monitoring, facility licensing, and regulatory compliance.
Services from
would we use now this kind of a forum and advocate and shape this country the way it is should go? Because I think this country the way it is today, if something is not going to happen, and particularly from this country in health might go to dogs. I tell you, and you know what it means by health. You just know what it would mean by health. If health is not considered in the right way, by the right people, and rising above the level and speak about it, I'm telling you.
Well-wishers have come together to support vulnerable older persons through the establishment of the Wazee Wetu Center in Bulapesa, Isiolo County. The center provides a space where senior citizens can access support services including meals, healthcare assistance, psychosocial support and opportunities for social interaction as well as community engagement. The initiative seeks to address some of the challenges faced by older persons including food insecurity, limited access to healthcare, social isolation and reduced family support.
Great part is that it has got a clinic where these elderly people will be treated, and also a laboratory and pharmacy. We believe this center being built in the middle of the area where most of those people are living gives dignity to those people who are around this area.
We felt that we dreamt of a time when we'll have a center, a unique center, a center for seniors. Seniors will come, share a cup of tea, talk to each other, sit down in dignity, pick their food, and have weekly clinics.
That's a population that tends to be forgotten and they struggle in their old age. So this center, when it was envisioned by Mama Ibado, and her legacy lives on to the current team that is running this, for me is to say thank you, and you're doing a fantastic job.
All right. A leadership dispute has thrown Embu's Juakale sector into uncertainty after rival factions claimed control of the association, raising concerns over possible disruptions at one of the county's largest informal business hubs. The standoff has sparked concerns among artisans and traders who fear the wrangles could derail efforts to address long-standing challenges facing the sector. A faction led by newly elected chairperson Jamlik Mugane maintains it is the only leadership recognized by the Micro and Small Enterprises Authority. Now Mugane has called for dialogue, urging the Embu County government and MSEA to work together to strengthen the sector.
Order number 2 ilikuwa ya kwamba we call elections as when they fall due, and they fell due, and that's why we have fulfilled that. The other order ilikuwa OCS observe strict adherence na turudishe kwa ofisi zetu zile ziko pale sewage pale Juakali karibu na sewage. Hiyo ni order ile ambayo bado OCS bado hajatimiza, lakini tutarudi kwake na tutamueleza, tumkumbushe kuna order ambayo wewe hauja fulfill. Kabla ya turudi kule, tafadhali fulfill.
Wakanja vijana wakatutoa kwa nguvu, na walipoingia wakatutoa kwa nguvu. Bandara ya tuliitisha authorities wanje watulishe mambo, na bandara ya kutulisha walienda wakachagua kitu waliita task force, na wakaiambia ingie kwa ofisi ambayo ni ofisi tulikuwa tumeshikilia, ni ofisi tulikuwa tunafanyia kazi.
And Kenya's investment market continues to grow as financial institutions introduce regulated products that are aimed at expanding access to wealth creation opportunities for investors. Octagon Africa has launched a unit trust offering 5 professionally managed investment funds that are designed to meet different investor needs and risk profiles. The move comes amid rising demand for financial assets, with treasury bill and bond auctions recording strong investor interest, signaling growing confidence in the country's investment market.
You don't have a one-size-fits-all solution. So it's very key to know which particular fund you'd want to invest in. We have the most popular one, the money market fund. Of course, this is a low-risk, short-term investment vehicle. We have such as the balanced fund, fixed income fund for medium-term goals. We are talking of around 3 or so years. Then we have like the equity fund, which is a long-term investment. Has its own volatility, but in the long run earns you the highest.
And this is good even for organizations like SACCOs who predominantly receive deposits from their clients. But this money, they need to also still keep this money in a place where they are able to give loans to their members. So this particular product, the 2 funds can actually give them that flexibility while still making a return on those funds.
All right, Kenya's national women's football team, the Harambee Starlets, have intensified preparations in Miramas, France, ahead of the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. The head coach, Beldino Demba's 24-player squad is using the final training week to acclimatize to conditions similar to those expected during the tournament. Kenya faces a tough Group A opener against hosts Morocco on July 26th before taking on Senegal, that is on July the 30th. This marks only the second time the Harambee Starlets have qualified for the WAFCON finals.
Experience ya huku imekuwa poa, zoezi imekuwa poa, kila mtu ana fight, though kuna vitu zenye hatujazoea kama food, but kila mtu ana fight, grao ziko poa, so it's a good experience kwa sisi vile tunaenda AFCON, inatupea kitu yenye tunaweza fightia.
Kutrain huko France, tumetrain poa, training facilities pia ziko poa, na tunazidi tu kujipush tukijua to achieve goals zetu.
Kenya University will fly Kenya's flag on the international stage after 10 students earned slots in the national team for the 2026 Woodball World Cup in Malaysia. The students, who make up 2/3 of the team, Kenya will compete against the world's best from July 24th to 30th. Their section and selection highlights the university's growing strength in woodball and Kenya's emerging talent in the sport, with hopes of securing medals at the global event. This is where we close TV47 at 4. More news coming your way at 7 and 9 p.m. So stay tuned. My name is Linda Alela. Good afternoon.